Welcome to part 2 of the restoration with Evapo-Rust of the 1991 Toyota MR2 brake pedal and bracket restoration. So here we have our video sponsor, Evapo-Rust, a super safe rust remover, non-toxic, biodegradable, safe on the skin and eyes, and it is reusable. You can use it on tools, antiques, cookware, auto, and hardware. So here we have been having this has been sitting for 24 hours. It's just a little bit over, but I flipped it, but even when after flipping it, having that exposed steel with some moisture in the air, the upper side still did rust just a slight bit, but that'll come out with a wire brush real easily. But here you guys can see it is absolutely fantastic looking, except for that little part, like you can see where that was sticking out of the Evapo-Rust. So that's part number 1, the actual bracket itself. And then reaching in here, grabbing the brake pedal, brake pedal looks real nice too. It'll look even better after wire brushing. So definitely after we wire brush this, the paint will be mostly removed and it'll really stick out with popping metal. So now I actually also threw in the brake pedal pad. You guys can see, look at how nice this has turned out. Nice and clean all the way through. And somewhere, there it is. Another miscellaneous rubber piece, I don't believe came off with a I think that came off of another project, but here we have that plastic piece that the button hits, and that was all rusted ish, and now it came out nice. Let's see if we can get this to focus, nice and clean. Get rid of the plastic residue, or the plastic residue from the switch button. So we're going to just skim through this, make sure there's nothing else in here other than the bolt. Threw in the bolt too. Looks just about the same because it's zinc plated. But definitely that's it. Alright. So you guys can see here, next step we're going to be taking, we're actually going to be cleaning up the rubbers. More than they already are. So what I use is I just use basically furniture polish. I just will spray a little bit on there and then take something like a toothbrush, circular motions, and just clean it up like that all the way around. Getting in all the little pockets of this. And then I'll wipe off all the excess. And then just same thing on the other plastic piece. So we're going to move on to wire brushing, so let's get over there. So we are over here at the wire wheel buffer, and first thing that we're going to clean up, which will be the easiest, the brake pedal itself, and make sure you are wearing your personal protective equipment, as in gloves, eyeglasses, safety glasses. So, and then I just got to be careful not to hit the plastic bushings. So let's see how this goes. So as you guys can see, definitely after wire wheeling, like this was a painted section, you can see the little line there that had been left. You guys can definitely see where the wire wheel has been hit. You can see the difference. So there it is, right there. You can see that nice shine versus the dull. Just being careful not to hit this. So I'm gonna get both this and the bracket all wire wheeled, and I will be right back. Okay, so I just finished wire wheeling this to the best of my abilities. We got a lot of the paint off, a lot of bare metal now. So next thing we're going to do, set this aside, and we're going to move on to getting the bracket done, and then we're going to get them painted in this very episode. So now you guys can see I have wire brushed this whole assembly here. So I'm gonna give these a quick wipe down on isopropyl alcohol, and we're going to get them continued, and they will be painted. So here I have a standard microfiber, and I have 70% isopropyl alcohol. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some on here, and I'm just going to wipe over the whole surface. You guys can see I've barely even touched it. Already gotten this dirty. So we're just going to basically wipe over the entire piece. I'm going to do this with all the pieces I just had in Evapo-Rust, including the rubbers, the rubber brake pedal cover, and the plastic clip. So you guys can see, going over the entire surface, we have picked up a lot of dirt. So basically this is all I'm going to do for everything. So once everything's done, I will be right back. So here we are. Next step, we are painting. So first thing you want to do is you want to prepare your pieces. And we've already done rubbing alcohol. I went over and did it again because I forgot to put on new gloves. And make sure your pieces, like the rubbing alcohol, is evaporated all the way. And next thing you want to do is get a little bit of masking tape and cover up pieces that you don't want painted. And when you press down on the borders of it, it shows you where it's left off. and you can cut right around that. And then that's one side. Push down all the borders. And there we go. That's just about the only thing I had to cover up here. Next step is, I'm not going to be priming them, but next step is shake up your spray paint can. So I just shook up my spray paint can for about 2 minutes, and I'm going to do a test spray on the cardboard. Make sure you're spraying underneath something, and you watch for if you have winds or anything, so you're not overspraying on anything else like a vehicle or the ground or anything like that. So spray looks nice, it's not spattering everywhere, so we're going to start painting, and we're going to separate these pieces out a little bit. So let's get to it. I'm going to coat this one side of the brake pedal at once, and then when this dries, do a couple more coats. Once that dries, flip it over, and so on. And that's just going to be a demonstration. I'm going to just repeat the same process off camera on the bracket itself. So make sure I keep that away from the edge, and make sure you cover all the angles. I do my coats pretty thick, so that way the paint, it basically is a good layer of paint on it. So you guys, what you just saw, I'm just going to basically repeat on that bracket, and I will be back in just a second. So I just finished coating the bracket, and I'm going to give you guys just a look around. And one thing you want to make sure when you're painting, make sure you get any open area. Like you end up seeing a little mispatch, get that, and make sure it's a nice even coat. Like you guys can see, fully covered on the one side, and then next time I'm going to flip it over and finish that, and then do one more coat on each side. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. And if you follow me on Twitter, you will know there will be the sneak peek of this video before it comes out. So definitely follow me on Twitter, link in the description. I actually have a Patreon account if you guys want to follow or support me. That will also be in the description. Definitely go check out our video sponsor, Evapo-Rust, for sending us their wonderful product. And so, and any paints, tools I use will be in the description. So definitely go down there, check that out, leave a comment if you have any questions, comments, concerns. But I will see you guys in the final part of assembly in the next part, which will conclude this, and an MR2 owner will most likely buy this. So have a nice day, and I will catch you in part in a final part 3.